The NFC East is looking like a dogfight in 2025, and in a division with bold bets across the board, one team's bold bet stands head and shoulders over the rest. I'm Kyle Krabs with A to Z Sports, and the NFC East in 2025 is a division that's going to be loaded with pressure. Now, different kinds of pressure. You have defending your crown pressure, like we have in Philadelphia. You have maximizing a rookie quarterback contract pressure, like you do in Washington. You have the pressure to get back on the horse as America's team, like you do in Dallas. And you have hot seat pressure in New York with the Giants. Accordingly, each one of these teams has placed a number of bold bets this offseason. Dallas, for their part, trading for George Pickens, although choosing not to give him a contract extension after sending a third and fifth round draft choice for his services, is a bold bet, just like the Giants trading up to draft Jackson Dart. But there was some level of necessity there with the job status of both Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll. Washington is swinging for the fences. And as a team that entered into last year, it's kind of a foundational year in drafting a rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels. Seeing this team push their chips in the way that they have is surprising, especially when you consider Laremy Tunsil being the splash move in this division. There's a number of significant draft picks that were sent to Houston as a part of this deal, including a third-round pick this year and a second-round pick next year for an offensive tackle that's going to be 31 years old this season and owed to over $21 million in each of the next two seasons as the last 2 years on his current contract. It's a little bit of a different departure than what you see some teams with athletic quarterbacks do, where they let that athleticism of the quarterback serve as a force multiplier for the offense and mitigate some of the pressure issues that you might get from opposing teams. But the presence of the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line in this division, and Dallas potentially getting healthy and presumably getting ready at some point to paying Micah Parsons, puts the pressure back on Washington to make sure those divisional games do not disrupt the forecast for what is a very promising future for Jaden Daniels. So I get it, but it's still a bold bet for a team that looked like they were just entering into the prime of their team building window to accelerate this build like they did with also acquiring Deebo Samuel. So Washington's going to need to see early and often dividends for both Deebo Samuel and Laremy Tunsil to justify the aggressive moves that they've made in trying to chase down the Philadelphia Eagles. And they've got a pretty good chance to do so, especially when you consider Philadelphia lost names like Milton Williams and Josh Sweat on the defensive line. So adding Tunsil plus those losses should, in theory, close the gap. But what else did Washington do across the board with the rest of their team? In particular, trying to match up with Philadelphia's offensive line with their defensive line. That's a big question that I have for this team going into the 2025 season. And that puts that much more pressure back on Tunsil to live up to the crown that Washington expects him to wear as the face of their offseason change to help spur the change needed to chase down the Eagles.